What's up, everybody? It's your boy Star God. I'm back with another video. White parents chase black teacher out of town over CRT fears before following her to the next town. Now, this right here is a good example of white hysteria. This right here is an example of not wanting their children to be taught accurate history in school and not wanting their so-called oh so great America to be revealed as a place of suffering, heartache, violence, racist, genocides, and more. They really do fear that. To them, that is like the end of the world. They lose their fucking minds. I don't even read them. I don't even really need to read it all. This right here sums it up all perfectly. And the fact that they had so much fear, that they had the audacity to not only chase her out of town, but follow her to either do the same thing and or continue to harass her over simply doing her job. Isn't that crazy? This is what we have to deal with as a people. This is what Americans like to deny when it comes to stuff like this. The majority of the population doesn't like acknowledging their faults at all. Especially when it comes to the faulty workings of the system we're in as we speak. Hell, not only is it faulty, but it exists purely to put black people down. It exists purely to make our lives so much harder. And this is not my opinion. This is not a rumor. This is not some type of ghost story being told out on a campfire. This is 100% fact. This is something that I myself learned and will continue to teach others and my future children about, because I will make sure that they know what's going on in the world. They will not be subjected to white lies over fear of rejection. Or at the very least, over fear of becoming less and less popular as time goes on. You know, one of the reasons why I stopped making videos for a while, because I needed a break. Like, I really did. Because the things I hear on a daily basis when it comes to the black nation, it's mentally exhausting. It's a lot to deal with every single day. Like, every single day there's something new. Every day. And I myself I just can't deal with that on the daily. Not unless I want to become some spiteful person, which I'm not. But I'm not afraid to call you on your bull either. When someone likes to point out the facts, people tend to get in their feelings and use examples and use their very own experiences to downplay everyone else. And nearly everyone is guilty of this, myself included. But when it comes to black people, it's 10 times worse. It's 10 to 100 times worse. Because they will find anything they can use in order to just deny. But anyways, let me just read this real quick and see what it says. Here we go. Parents sent racist letters to school and patted on rooms of meeting. Disguised black educational leader was hounded out of 2 different Georgia school districts within the months of her hiring, as conservative groups and angry white parents protested what they falsely believed was the introduction of critical race theory, CRT, into their schools. According to a new ProPublica report, educator Celia Lewis was by all accounts a beloved leader throughout her educational career. When she left a position as a principal at school in Maryland in 2021, they created a wall to honor her, featuring her signature, sign-off, and messages to students. Quote, "If no one told you they care about you today, they know that I do, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it." However, things took a turn as she prepared for a new job in Georgia's Cherokee County School District, a newly created position focused on diversity, equality, and inclusion, DEI work. The district was intentionally enthusiastic about the new hiring, mentioning Miss Lewis' impressive credentials and enthusiasm for the role, and nothing how the DIE incentives in the district stems from input from parents, employees, and students of color, which is basically everyone but black people, but let's go ahead. Miss Lewis told ProPublica she began getting strange calls from district administrators warning her not to mention CRT, a concept she had never heard of. Critical race theory, a high-level academic concept about the influence and foreign structural racism, is virtually never taught below the university level. But that didn't stop Cherokee County parents from rallying against it, barraging the district with reform letters. Someone from the area even sent a letter to Miss Lewis' old district warning that they didn't want a black Yankee in their schools. People on social media began sharing sightings of Miss Lewis in those who made it in Maryland ahead of the new school year. Things boiled over at May 2021 school board meeting. At the mention of Miss Lewis hiring, parents pounded on the window and screamed, "No!" Cissy Lewis, a black educator. Well, yeah, video of this incident. Let's see if I can play it for a minute. Notice how all I'm seeing is all white. Just notice that for a second. Let's do that one more time. One speaker, a volunteer for a Republican gubernatorial candidate, accused Miss Lewis of being a racist herself and disgracing the work of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. Embracing the teachings of critical race theory is a slap in the face of Dr. King's teachings. Stan Fitzgerald said, taxpayer-funded anti-white racism is still exactly that, racism. I love it how people who know Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. the least act like they know him the most. Like, you have no idea what Martin would have wanted. You have no idea. No idea. No idea. People love basing this off of one video, off of one speech. And from that one speech alone, they assume everything about the great man. They saw one side of Dr. King and they stuck to it like bees on honey. It's honestly quite sad and degrading. It really is. The more people who do this, it shows a failing of the people. It really does. Most of the time, it's certain types of people. Guess who's screaming this the most? I'll give you a hint. They were in the video. That cut me, quote, that cut me so deeply, unquote. Miss Lewis told ProPublica, quote, it hit the core of who I am as a being, unquote. At the meeting, the district disowned its DIE plan and passed a resolution against CRT and teaching of the 1619 Project, the New York Times groundbreaking and congressional project on the century of slavery and racism to U.S. history. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. That was apparently still not enough for the angry crowd, white, who began screaming at administrators, with one man vowing to board members, "We're going to hunt you down." Remember, we get that again. That was apparently still not enough for the angry crowd, who began screaming at administrators, with one man vowing to board members, quote, "We're going to hunt you down." We're going to hunt you down. Take that in for a moment. We are going to hunt you down like an animal. Children in the room reportedly began crying, and district leaders requested police escorts. They did this for the children. The parents did this in front of their own children. Wow. Wow. In front of the very same kids they're trying to protect. The IQ is just astonishing. The following day, at Cherokee Country, parent discussed the supposed infiltration of CRT into districts on Fox News, of course, because it's apparently it's the most credited source to exist. At least that's what racist people say. You know, got the people with white hoods, you know, they love watching that. Wonder why. The violent reaction persuaded Miss Lewis to resign. Quote, I wholeheartedly fell in love with Cherokee Accounting when I came to visit and accepted the position. But somehow I got caught in the crossfire of lies, misinformation, and accusations, which had zero basis, she told the local paper. But things didn't end there. Angry parents tracked her to her next job, a social studies leadership role in Cobb County, one of the state's largest districts, and again, barraged district leaders. She felt that the complaints led her to be sidelined at work, and she resigned again for the second time in 1 year. Quote, I did nothing but showed up to work, sign a contract, and agreed to do what I was asked to do in the job description, she told ProPublica, and yet again I'm getting attacked. And yet again, I'm getting attacked. Wow. So what have you learned today? What have you learned? To me, the answer is simple. But people who are against something like this the most are beyond hypocritical and ignorant. They just ooze of the very thing they try desperately to deny. They ooze it. Ooze it. And it's honestly really sad. But I'm glad it happened. Why? Because when something like this does happen, you can't claim that racism doesn't exist. You can't claim that. You can't claim that. Because if you do, if you're using that as your counter argument, and you're saying that racism had nothing to do with this situation, that tells me you're part of the problem. This is your boy, Story God, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.